Hey, this is Wilson. No Jason this week as always. No Galvez either. But Mitch and Shane are here. Uh, Shane, Mitch, how you guys doing tonight?
I
Hey,
am
hey.
sensational as usual. Wow. I had a solid weekend, solid Monday. I can't complain.
Perfect. And Shane, yourself?
Everything copacetic, just chilling, you know, ready to get into what we got to get into.
Oh, okay. He said no more messing around. He said, let's do this. I'm very curious to hear his for sure.
Okay. So basically, what happened is on Thursday, of course, the Golden State Warriors closed out the Boston Celtics in Boston. Final score was 103-90 in Game Six. So the Warriors won their fourth. They've now won four titles in the last 8 years. Steph Curry finished with 34, 7, and 7 in that clinching Game Six. He won his first Finals MVP. It was one of the more fabulous Finals performances we've seen. And he was very emotional afterwards. And almost immediately, the question became, you know, now that he finally won that elusive Finals MVP, uh, where does this put Steph Curry all time? And I tweeted my list, uh, and it was I said my updated top 15 NBA players of all time, and I went 15 Elgin Baylor, 14 Oscar Robertson, 13 Jerry West, 12 Hakeem Olajuwon, 11 Steph Curry, 10 Shaquille O'Neal, 9 Larry Bird, 8 Kobe Bryant, 7 Tim Duncan, 6 Magic Johnson, 5 Wilt Chamberlain, 4 LeBron James, 3 Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 2 Bill Russell, and of course number 1 Michael Jordan. And so Shane, you know, replies to my tweet, and he's talking about Kobe should be no lower than the number 2. And I mean, if I had been right in front of Shane, I would have strangled him. And then I put the same thing on my Instagram story, the same tweet. And Mitch says that Kobe should be higher also. Now I have Kobe eighth. Now Shane says Kobe should be no lower than 2. And Mitch says Kobe should be higher also. But I want to start off talking about Curry. Okay, I'll start with Mitch. What is your
Yep.
top 10, and is Steph Curry in your top 10 after he won his fourth ring and first Finals MVP?
Steph Curry is in my top 10. I mean, he's the greatest shooter we've ever seen. This man can do things on the court we've never seen before. This man is ridiculous with the shot. I mean, we've seen it. We're witnessing it right now. I mean, he's the GOAT shooter. He's holding all the 3-point records imaginable in the playoffs, regular season. He is in my top 10. He starts off the top 10. So I got Steph at 10. I got Wilt the Stilt at 9. I got Shaq at 8. I got Bill Russell at 7. I got the Birdman at 6. I got LeBron at 5. I got Magic at 4. I've got Kareem 3.
Oh my goodness, man!
I've got Jordan at 2. And
What?
that's right, I've got Kobe at number 1. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest player I've ever seen in my life. I'm
Oh
I
telling
my
you,
ain't mad at that.
Kobe
goodness
is
I ain't
number
mad at
1.
that.
gracious!
He's the best. And
Oh my
I'll explain
I
goodness!
ain't
why.
mad at that.
I'll explain why. I'll explain why.
You ain't got
So
to explain. It's self-explanatory. You ain't got to
Oh
explain.
my god!
I'll break it down for Anthony. He doesn't believe. I got to make him a believer. So listen,
I can believe it.
Kobe. Here's why, right? So we always hear the same thing. Okay, Kobe is the closest thing to Michael Jordan. He's the closest thing, blah, 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 right?
Mhm.
I watched The Last Dance, as most people did, because There was nothing else on. Came out during during the pandemic. Everybody's at home. Everybody's sitting at home waiting for Sunday to watch The Last Dance. I was one of those people. I sat there and I watched all 6 episodes of The Last Dance, and I came out of The Last Dance thinking, you know what? Michael wasn't as mentally tough as he wants us to believe. He had to take two, not one, not one, two mental breaks from the game of basketball. Kobe never needed mental breaks. What do we? What's like? Mamba mentality is it's a thing, and like all the most of the people from our era try to emulate Mamba mentality because Kobe with his mentality was an animal. We keep seeing that clip over and over of Kobe at the press conference, I believe in '09 with the job's not finished. I mean, and that's just a perfect representation of Mamba mentality and just staying focused on the task. Kobe didn't need no breaks. I think he is mentally tougher than Michael. So that's why I have Kobe at number one. Mentality matters.
Mitch, what is your criteria for this list outside of Kobe? Is it
Right.
what matters most to you? Is it championships? Is it skill level? Is it MVPs? What is it? Is it individual dominance? Is it statistics? What is your thing? Your what is your like main criteria? Like what of course it's a mixture of those. I mean I
It's
don't know. Maybe it's not for me. It is. What is it with you?
it's definitely a mixture. And one of the main reasons I have Kobe in one, listen, obviously the glaring thing is going to be okay, he only has one regular season MVP. Everybody knows it. But I feel like regular season MVPs are so biased by the media. And I just feel like the media hates on Kobe so hard.
Yep.
Kobe should have way more than one regular season MVP. Everybody knows it. Nobody talks about it that much. But I was listening to, I forgot where I heard it, but it's so crazy how there's such a big disparity in how the media talks about Kobe versus how the players that actually played against him talk about Kobe. Like you hear T Mac, AI, they talk about Kobe, and he's like a god figure, you know. So is it a mixture? It's definitely a mixture, and I think like mentality definitely matters. And I think Kobe was like the perfect model of like mentality. You hear all the crazy stories about how he trained. Like it how he trained is second to none. His work ethic, his mentality, it all goes into it. Um, it just all goes into it. I mean, that you think about his last game. It's one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. The man, the man was on his last legs, and he put up 60 in his final game. Man was 58 years old, put up 60 points. What?
So Mitch, basically what you're saying is Kobe is number one for you because of the Mamba mentality.
Yes, I think intangibles are a big part of basketball too. Like
Hmm.
a lot of things that win games, win actual basketball games are intangibles. The things that don't show up on the stat sheet,
Hmm.
the hustle, the mentality. So you got to figure in mentality when you're talking about who's the true GOAT. And Kobe's mentality, second to none.
Um, yeah, that's one thing I agree with you with is that last point you made about how a lot of the things that win basketball games are intangible. Like these guys who like these spreadsheet basketball guys
Right.
who I don't know. I don't know if they started watching basketball when John Hollinger started creating all these metrics and stuff, or if they maybe they were watching basketball at first, but really the reason they like it now is because it's become like such a mathematical game. But
Right,
these guys don't understand that. Like the main knock against Kobe is that if you compare him to like Jordan and like LeBron and some of the other people in
right,
his that category, the all-time category, that he wasn't as efficient as a scorer as they were. Because Kobe for his career only made 45% of his shots. But there are some
right.
guys who are hyper efficient scorers. Kevin Durant. Um,
KD, number
uh,
one.
people
Yeah.
people say even though Harden's field goal percentage wise is about 44%, but they say that really the efficiency is basically the way they look at it is how many shots does it take you to get your points?
Right.
That's how that because Harden shoots a lot of threes and he shoots a lot of free throws. So he'll
Hmm.
shoot 44% from the field, and maybe Kobe was shooting 46%, but Harden got his on fewer shots because he shot more threes and shot more free throws. But
Yeah.
so guys, and those are and and Harden and Durant all time great players. But if you look at Durant, I mean, we've seen it from him where it's like he has all the tools. He makes 50% of his shots, all those things, but he had to go to Golden State to win his titles.
You
And
did.
there are some guys who are more efficient than Kobe was, who never would have led those last two title teams that we had under Kobe. They made three straight finals. There are some guys who are hyper efficient scorers who would not have led those teams to championships just because they don't have what it takes down the stretch to win games and to show up when you I mean, the only times Kobe ever really struggled in his career were against the two of the greatest defensive maybe the two greatest defensive teams of all time, which was the '04 Pistons and the
Right.
'08. Other than that, I mean, Kobe never really had a situation like Durant when he was in Oklahoma City. Like I was watching highlights last night of that Game 6 against the Spurs in 2014, the conference finals, and Westbrook outplayed Durant. Durant just couldn't get it done in the fourth quarter, or against when they're up 3-1 against Golden State and they couldn't get it done. And then this year he gets swept in the first round. That was never Kobe. Kobe to beat Kobe. Basically, it was two times when he ran into these all-time great defenses and they were able to get him. But it was never like he just like failed basically. Like he just didn't have it basically. It took an all-time great defense to slow him down. So this has something for sure that these analytics nerds they don't understand that it's not basketball is not really a game about numbers. It's about the impact that you have on your teammates, the impact that you have on the game, and on winning. And I mean, how many times did we watch games, Mitch, Shane, coming up? I mean, over 20 years of Kobe's career. I always said the difference between the greats, because when we played the Spurs in the playoffs, and I'm going to get to you in a second, Shane. When we played the Spurs in the playoffs, we played them in '99. They beat us. We beat them in '01 and '02. They beat us in '03. We beat them in '04 and '08. And then in 2013, Kobe was injured, but they would have won anyway. But basically, in our real, in our like glory years, from '99 to '08, we were 4-2 against them in the playoffs. And the difference was that the Spurs did not have anybody who could match Kobe shot for shot down the
Nope.
stretch. That was the difference. Whether it was '02 or '04 or '08, the difference was that down the stretch in those fourth quarters, Kobe's ability to take over a game, the Spurs just did. I mean, Ginobili was a great player, but he couldn't do it. But that was the difference. But I'm going to stop hogging the podcast. Shane, what is
Sure.
your what is your top 10 all time? and it's Steph Curry in it now that he's won another title in his first Finals MVP.
Thought about it, and Steph Curry is not in my top 10.
Oh, of course.
My top 10, number 1, MJ. Number 2, Kobe. Number 3, T-Mac. Number 4,
Oh,
Shaq.
Did you just say T Mac?
T-Mac, yes I did.
T-Mac.
Oh my lord!
Yes I
Oh my
did.
goodness! Oh
Number
my
4,
T-Mac at
Shaq.
3?
Number 4,
Better than
Shaq.
Shaq.
I
Oh,
bet, shit, Mitch, I bet you he has the. Oh, it's gonna tell me what the rest of this list is gonna sound
I'll
like. Go
finish
ahead.
my list, please. I'll listen to y'all list. I
my
listen to
bad,
y'all
my bad.
list.
You right, you right, my bad. Please carry on, sir. I will
Number
save
4,
my comments
Shaq.
for the end. Okay.
Number 5, AI.
Oh my
5
god!
AI.
Number
Okay.
6, Magic.
6.
Number
6 is not
7,
okay.
number 7, Vince Carter.
7 is Vince Carter. Okay.
Number 8, KG.
Number 8 is KG. Wow.
Number nine, Scottie Pippen.
9 is Scottie Pippen.
Number 10, Charles Barkley.
Number 10 is Charles Barkley. Wow.
That's my top 10.
That's
Lachey, it's not supposed to be your favorite personal players. You're supposed to
It's
rank
not
the
my favorite
players.
personal place. It's my top. That's my top 10.
Lachey, what
Respect it.
kind of?
I respect.
hold on.
I respect y'all. Respect y'all shit. Respect my shit. That's my top 10.
It it started out so good. Like I can even respect, okay, you're like, okay, MJ 1, Kobe 2. I'm like, okay, I'm with you. T Mac 3, I was like, you lost me. Hold on. What? What?
Hey, I can lose you all you want. That's my personal opinion. That's my top 10.
You're right. Do you see how he's getting so defensive? He's probably told this top 10 to many different people in the past, and they all reacted the same way. What kind of top
That's
10
my
is that?
top 10.
Lachey, can you explain your top 10?
Please.
Yes, I can. So, in terms of MJ's MJ. So no need to. In terms of Kobe, uh, second to none. Next to MJ, that's Kobe. I grew up on Kobe. T Mac, you can't just like what Mitch was saying in terms of how players talk about Kobe. A lot of players talk about T Mac in that same fashion.
The
Even
difference is
Kobe,
T Mac
e- even
was
Kobe,
injured so
even
much.
Kobe himself, even Kobe himself said T Mac was the toughest player he had to get up against. So if you ain't
That
gonna respect my list, or respect me putting him on there. Respect what Kobe said about it. Plus, they grew up together. So
okay.
next,
But
can I explain? Can I finish my explaining? Because y'all butting in. I ain't do all this with y'all.
well, hold
Thank
on.
you.
I got a rebuttal to the T Mac part because that's where you started losing me. Listen, yeah, we get that that Kobe said that was one of the most difficult players for him to guard, and I don't think anybody's going to take that away from T Mac. T Mac was an animal, just like in the same way Grant Hill was an animal. The only thing was that T Mac was injured a lot, and he could never get it done. Like that's the bottom line. He could never get it done.
And look who he played with. But we gonna, like I said, let me continue. Shaq, most dominant player ever, hands
How
down.
how you gonna say Shaq was the most dominant ever and then have him behind T Mac?
Because for me, for
What?
me, I'm always gonna put a guard over a big man. That's just me.
Seven hells.
I'm always gonna put a guard over a big man because you're under the basket. You know what I'm saying? You post to dominate. But anyway, but Shaq was a different breed, as we all know. So Shaq top 4. AI, regardless what anybody says, for me, the best little man I ever seen, and best little man ever for me.
Have you ever
That,
seen
that
this guy have you ever seen this guy called Steph Curry?
What's wrong with this guy?
Are you serious? No, he's not better
I'm
than
dead
AI. I'm
serious.
sorry, he's not better
I'm
than AI.
serious.
I'm sorry. We can
Steph,
cut.
I can't believe you got
cut
me out
that.
here like
You can cut that.
I
You
can't
can cut
believe
that.
no.
You can
No,
cut that.
I cannot
You can
believe you
cut
got
that.
me out here about to disrespect the great Allen
And
Iverson.
Steph is 6'3". AI not even 6 foot. So we not going. Don't
Oh
even.
gosh, man. This
Uh, hey,
listen,
you want
who
me? You
made
want
you
me to
like this?
explain? It? Yeah, it's been. What? Magic is magic. You know. So he's up there in terms of uh, top number 1 Laker with Kobe. Vince Carter, half man, half amazing. Some of the things he do. Vince Carter is one of the only people that was a quote unquote dunker who's also who transformed his game is in the top 10 in 3-point percentage. Look that
Yeah,
up.
yeah, because he got old. He couldn't jump as high no more.
But the fact that he
That's
went
what
from a
Jason
20-point
Kidd did.
scorer
Okay, just like
to
Jason
being
Kidd did, and
to
he'll
a
get his
slam
face.
dunk award winner to
Come on.
transform his game to playing on damn near 20 years to shooting to being in the top 10 ever in 3-point percentage. Respect it. Anyway, continue.
God.
KG. A lot of people forget about the KG Minnesota years. Everybody just
As they
remember.
should, because he didn't win.
Everybody just remember
That's why they forget.
the
They forget
slow.
KG in Boston because that's when he won.
Well, yeah, because he had a squad. KG, he was nearly by himself, damn near averaging quadruple doubles.
Yeah,
And
he had Wally Serbiak. What are you talking about?
Wally Zerbiak, really? Wally
Yeah,
Zerbiak. That's your answer
yeah,
to me?
yeah.
That's wow. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, continue. Scottie
Hey man,
Pippen,
don't disrespect Wally Serbiak, man. He was an animal.
sleep. Scottie Pippen. Jordan, and much we love Jordan, as great as Jordan is, Jordan don't win those rings without Scottie. Scottie,
And that's like putting that would be like putting Powell in the top 10 and being like, okay, Kobe couldn't have won those last two without Powell. Make it make sense to me, please.
totally different. Wait, would
It's
you?
not totally different. It's not totally different. Does Kobe
It
win
is
those
totally
last two
different.
rings?
It is totally different.
Does
Because
Kobe win those last two rings if Powell doesn't come? Yes or no?
yes, he finds a way to get it.
Oh, seven hells. I can't believe this.
He finds a way to get it. But anyway, but yeah, Scotty's the
Hold on. Oh, wait. On a complete side note, listen. The
oh my
day
god,
that we traded Kwame Brown for Pau Gasol was one of the best days of my entire life. Please carry on.
indeed. Anyway, Scotty, well, as I was saying, Jordan don't get those 6 rings without Scotty. So
Your logic is
Scotty,
terrible.
anyway, Scotty, the first of the quote unquote point forwards,
Gosh.
all defensive player, all defensive team, and could get buckets. Respect Scott. Charles. Now, I thought about long and hard about putting Steph right there, but I did. I really did. But then
Yeah. Hmm.
I kept saying who I would consider up there higher than Steph. And I gotta think about when you think about the Draymond Greens and
I know you're not a. Oh my God.
what
I don't know.
when you think when you think
It
about
sounds like you're
these
sounds like you're about to say something ridiculous. So I
no,
just want to hear it.
when you think about this when you think about the small ball fives, the or the
Right.
or the undersized dudes who's 6'8" and below who get read about the Dennis Rodmans and all them. You don't get that without Chuck.
What?
You don't you don't get the Rodmans, you don't get the Draymonds
Oh.
and so on without Chuck.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
who's 6'8", undersized, 260, can get boards over a 7-foot dude, take it coast to coast and dunk on your ass, and then step back and shoot a three. That you not that that's Chuck. And if it wasn't for Jordan, he would have multiple rings. I like a lot of people. So that's my list.
Okay. Okay, so your top 10 has Allen Iverson,
Right.
Tracy McGrady,
Yeah.
Vince Carter,
Vince Carter.
uh, and then even, I mean, no disrespect to KG and Barkley and Pippen, but those guys are not, I mean, they might be, Pippen's, I have Pippen in the top 25. Barkley and KG are right in the 20, 25, range, 18 to 25. But I mean, the three most egregious ones, and nothing against all of Iverson and McGrady
Animals.
and Vince, Hall of Fame players, no question.
No question.
McGrady, when he was in Orlando, he was equal to Kobe. Uh,
Yeah.
and so
He had a
nothing
couple of
against
years.
them. Like any guys that I grew up watching, I remember the 2000 dunk contest. I remember all that. I love Allen Iverson. He's another one of those guys that proves that numbers are not everything. His teams
Right.
are always competitive. But
No
for you to put
question.
them in the
Question.
top 10, what is wrong
Question.
with you?
Question. You just said how you remember the slam dunk contest. You remember watching them play. Name me one game you remember watching Will Chamberlain play.
Okay, and that's the other thing I was going to say. How do you have a top 10, right? With Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley, and KG. And again, those last three, Pippen, KG, and Barkley, are at least top 25. But
Right.
McGrady is not. I mean, he
That's
might
your
be top.
opinion.
He might be
That's
top
your opinion.
75.
That's my list.
Vince Carter is not top. I don't know. He might be top 100. Iverson. I might put Iverson in my. I think Iverson's in the top 50. But
Keep
but for
plucking.
you,
Anyways, go ahead.
but Shane, so you got those guys in it, but no Bill Russell, no Kareem, no Wilt,
No
Again,
Kareem. Oh my
no
gosh.
Larry Bird, no
The
Tim,
captain, the skyhook.
no
Oh my
Tim Duncan,
gosh.
no
No
Tim Duncan,
Hakeem. The
again,
dreamscape. Oh
I'm
my
not
god.
putting big man other than Shaq in my top 10.
no
As
Tim Duncan,
Oh my
as Tim
god.
Duncan was overrated.
no Larry Bird,
Larry Bird was overrated.
Oh,
no no Hakeem, no Jerry West, no Oscar Baylor, no Oscar Robertson, no Elgin Baylor.
Dude, I never seen. I seen highlights of Oscar Robertson and
Shane.
Elgin Baylor.
So you have
Have
to
you seen
watch
the
the
actual
play.
game of Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson?
Shane,
my
don't
gosh.
so do you know this is the thing, Mitch, and I have it all figured out now.
Okay.
Shane knows
Hmm.
X's and O's. Like he
Does he?
knows like I think that, I mean, that would be more of his strength, is like
Mm.
watching film and kind of why and that part of the game.
He
But
doesn't
when
watch
he
film I
yeah, but
I just heard his top 10.
yeah, I don't know what, but it's like when it comes to like knowing I don't know, the history of the game and ranking players based off like their accomplishments and stuff like that. I mean, that list basically is just
Oh, see,
Shane's
I'm not looking at just accomplishments. That's what if y'all want to. That's how y'all base y'all list. I don't base list on just accomplishments.
That's how you make a top 10 list of all time. Like I don't.
That's how y'all want to make it. That's not how I do mine.
and you're being so stubborn about it. It's like he knew that we were going to
Because
block.
like I sit here and listen to all your top tens, respected it, and then when it comes to mine, you trying to come for me.
Man, your top 10 is
'Cause it's trash.
ridiculous.
Your top ten is ridiculous. After your list, you ain't even seen him play one game.
Yeah, but I'm a historian of the game, though, Shane.
Exactly.
You're not
Do
gonna you
your
can't put
research.
nobody in there that you never seen play. You just gonna put him in there just because everybody says, "Oh, he was a shit." No, you can't do that. I mean, you want to do that, cool, but I'm just not gonna put nobody on my list that I never seen him play an actual game. In the
Wilt
What do you
highlights I
Chamberlain had
seen
a
you play, you're playing
Wilt,
against scrubs.
Wilt
So
Chamberlain
no.
scored 100 points in a game. He had a
Look
game
who
where
we
he had
played.
55
Look
rebounds.
who he played.
I have a question, Shane. How
What's
is
up?
Tim Duncan? You saw Tim Duncan play. How is
Right.
Tim Duncan
Overrated.
overrated?
Overrated as fuck.
How is Tim Duncan overrated?
So okay,
Because
hold on. I'll take this. I'll take this one actually. So uh, I think
Mitch,
technically
did you
speaking,
have Tim Duncan in your top 10, Mitch?
I do not. So that's where I'll say that Tim Duncan is overrated. I don't think he's top 10. Tim Duncan is a great player. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, he's trash. He was a bum. He couldn't get it. Listen, the man was a winner and he got it done. He wasn't flashy or anything like that.
yeah,
But I do not think that Tim Duncan's top 15. I don't think he's top 10. and that makes him overrated, technically speaking.
Yes.
I don't know if Shane has the same rationale, but I'm gonna go. I just wanted to step in and save him before he said something else ridiculous.
Hey, why is my take ridiculous, but yours is God?
But,
I
Shane,
just
listen to
told you.
yourself. This
What do you
top
want
10
from
that
me?
you put together.
That's my list. Respect it.
Oh my gosh, I can't. I wanted to. I was with you in the first two.
Well,
You
that's
lost.
my list.
You
Okay.
lost me at T Mac. I was like, oh, this is. Gosh,
Hey,
why?
that's my list. Like y'all want to put Steph Curry, now he ain't even the best point guard of all time, but yet you want to put Steph Curry in the top 10.
I have a question.
Steph
You
Curry is the
said,
second best point guard of all time behind Magic.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
but who
He's
else
not
is?
even a point guard on his team.
So what position does
He's
Steph Curry
listed
play
at
for
point
you?
guard.
He's listed as point guard, but Draymond runs the offense, not Steph.
Okay.
Shane. So who are the top 5 point guards of all time?
Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh. Here we go, man. Here we go. Lord have mercy. Go. Who?
It's just
Top five.
me. This is
Go.
just me.
Oh
This is
God.
me.
Okay. It's just you, obviously. It's always just you. Go. Say it.
Magic number one.
Okay.
Go J Kid number two.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Go EP number three.
GP is number 3. Okay.
GP number three.
Uh-huh.
Um, and this is just me. I don't care. Just me. He know he's God to me. Nick Van Exel number four.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
here we go. See, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Hey,
These are not
he,
your favorite players. It's too early.
hey, I put him up. I put it. If he didn't get traded for Ty Lue, he would get his ring and he would be up there. But y'all
No,
wanted
he
to trade him for
wouldn't.
Ty Lue,
This
so
He
confirms.
wouldn't. Oh my gosh, man.
This
yeah.
Who's number
confirms.
5? Who you got at 5, man? Please.
This man
Go
said,
five. I'm gonna go Ross Strickland.
This,
Rock.
I'm about to flip this table over. How you
Flip
name
the
the?
table. I don't give a fuck.
Come on, man. Come on, man. See, okay.
Top 5.
Listen, okay. So here's where I thought he was going. I was like, okay, he's naming point guards who he thinks are actually pure prototypical point guards, and then he listed GP, and I was like, okay, that's not where he's going. He's gonna say Rods. Listen, this little Negro child just said Rod Strickland is a top 5 point guard.
Remember Ross
What?
Strickland?
What?
After me.
What?
Do you remember Ross Strickland?
Whose man's is this?
Do you
Please
remember
tell
Ross
me.
Strickland?
Listen, Rod Strickland is not a top 5 point guard of all time. Was Rod Strickland nice? Yes, he was nice. Tim Hardaway was nice. Like,
Rock
what
Strickland.
are we talking about here?
No Isaiah Thomas. No
No
John
Isaiah.
Stockton.
Nope. So
No Walt Frazier.
Isaiah Thomas played on a broken ankle, and he can't get no love from Shane Murray. I can't believe this.
Yes, but
Oh my gosh.
Van Exel and Rod Strickland.
I'd
You
actually
see how?
average 20 and 10, bruh. Don't sleep on Nick Van Axel.
Hold on. You see how he starts out so good, and then he just goes off.
Oh my goodness. I had
Yeah,
no
that's my
clue.
list.
Shane, I had no clue that you were going to come on here and do this tonight, man.
Oh, yeah, that's my list.
This reminds me one time. I know you guys are going to like this, but 2 years ago, I actually picked Miami to beat the Lakers in the finals. And
Oh,
if you go
damn.
back to listen to that episode, I want to see which episode it was. But if you go back and you listen to it, it was probably the funniest episode that me and Galvez ever did, because Galvez was like, there was episode 142. But Galvez was roasting the living daylights out of me, and he started quoting Ether, and he started saying like, he was like, "Were you abused as a child? Like, I'm scared to smile." Like, he was basically trying to say like, "What is my problem to even say that. He would say like, "Did I have like a rough childhood or something like that?" And it's like, Shane, why would you come on here and and do this? What is your problem, man?
Do what? No, I ain't got no problem. That is my list.
Come on, man.
What is
How you gonna name a top 5 point guards list? Listen, let's get it out the way. Steph Curry is a point guard. He is. He's listed as a point guard. He plays point guard. Yes, Draymond does initiate a lot of their offense because Steph Curry is a scoring point guard, but he's a point guard nonetheless. Like, how are you going to say a top 5 point guards of all time and not even think about saying Steph Curry?
Because he's not even a point guard on his team.
he is the point guard, Shane. He's a
He's
good
listed as the point guard, but he's not running the offense. He's trying to
but
get open and can shoot threes. That's not being a point guard.
Because he's the best shooter of all time. Like,
Best shooter of all time, even though that's not my best shooter of all time, but best shooter of all
oh my
time
God.
does not make you top point guard of all time.
now
Where
he's
are
not
you
the
at?
best shooter of all
No,
time.
hold on. Excuse me. Shane, where are you at right now? I need to come over and punch you in the face. Did you just say Steph Curry is not the greatest shooter of all time?
He's not my greatest shooter of all time. He could be
Oh
y'all's.
my, oh my. Who's the greatest shooter of all time?
Ray Allen.
No,
For me.
Steph
Okay.
Curry. Steph Curry all time, 3,117 threes. Ray Allen, 2,973. Steph Curry is still playing.
Yeah, you realize he broke them after Ray Allen retired, bro, right?
Bruh.
Well, Ray Allen played until he was like 40 years old. So Curry broke his record like it was
Please.
this year. So it was like,
Like,
I
bruh.
said, y'all make it sound like I'm a Steph hater. I'm not a Steph hater. Like I love Steph, but I'm putting it into context. Like a lot of people are on recency bias. I am on no recency bias.
I'm
That's
looking at the
my
numbers. I'm looking
numbers
at
don't mean shit to me.
okay.
Numbers lie all the
So
time.
so you're saying, oh my gosh. So you've seen Steph Curry play, right?
Yes, I have.
Ray Allen can take those threes that Steph takes.
Do you not remember Ray Allen's Milwaukee days?
So you're
Ray
saying
Ray Allen was a
Allen,
pro.
the
He
so
difference,
would dunk on
Ray
him.
Allen was pulling up. So Ray Allen was pulling from the logo in his Milwaukee days.
yeah,
Is that what you're trying to tell me? We're
that's
not
the
talking about he
difference.
got game. We're not talking about the movie. We're talking about the actual NBA.
What I'm talking about?
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh, man.
That's the difference is that Curry, like Ray Allen and Reggie were. I mean, I rank them. I say Allen 3, Miller, Reggie 2, Reggie 2, and Reggie Miller 2, and Curry 1. And
I would give Ray. I would give Ray 2 over Reggie, but I mean, I think they're interchangeable.
yeah, I put Reggie over Ray because I just feel like even in Milwaukee, Ray had Sam Cassell, he had Big Dog Glenn Robinson, and so the offense, Ray Allen. I mean, only when he was in Seattle did Ray Allen really playing an offense where he was with Rashard Lewis, which that wasn't really. And I mean, it was like that was the only time he was in an offense where the entire defense was kind of focused on him, right? Whereas when Reggie was Indiana, that was Indiana's offense. Was
That's
Reggie
true.
coming off of screens? That was
Yeah,
his thing. And then with Curry, it's like he does everything that Reggie and Ray did,
and
coming
Ray
off the screens, getting
definitely
getting shot. But he's also an on
off the
ball,
dribble. Yep.
he's an off the dribble 3-point shooter too. You know, that's to me, that's what makes him just a different level. He's not just coming off the screens getting open. He's a 3-point shot creator with the ball in his hands.
When he
And it's
crosses half court, he's in range.
yeah, he's a threat as soon as he crosses half court. And coming off and then, not just catch and shoot, but guy come up, like people, that became a new phrase this playoffs in the finals was drop coverage, you know.
Right.
So
Drop
guy comes
coverage.
up, he sets a screen, and
Shout
if
out to
and if the
JJ
man
Redick.
yeah, and if the man who the guy who's coming off the the pick and roll guy, the defender, the big man, if he doesn't get up in Curry's face, right up in his face,
Pulling.
he gives him any, and that's something that Ray Allen and Reggie Miller, that wasn't their game. But
You need to go back and look at Ray Allen highlights.
every
Am I
now
gonna
and then, Shane, he might have just pulled up
am
and
I
hit him.
gonna find him pulling from the logo? Is that what I'm gonna see when I look up Ray Allen
Maybe
highlights?
not
Is
from
that
the
what I'm gonna
logo,
see?
but you don't see him crossing somebody up and shooting a three, or crossing somebody up and dunking on him.
So what are we talking about, though?
You were just talking about, because Curry does it off the dribble and puts him in a higher height than Reggie or Ray. Ray did it off the dribble. Ray did it off the catch. You know what I mean?
For how long?
What do
Steph
you
is
mean for how long?
because you're saying his Milwaukee days. He stopped doing it because
He
it
stopped doing
wasn't
it
his
once he
game.
got to about Boston.
I don't know how. I think, like, because I want to see how, I want to hear Shane's top 5 shooting guard, his
Oh
top
Lord,
5 small forwards,
I
and
don't know
every,
if I can take it.
yeah, not tonight. But I know
Hey,
also
that's
Shane.
fine. You can laugh all you want. That's my list.
All right, so before we get out of here, just a reminder to rate, review, and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts. The show is also on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and every other major podcatcher. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at TC Pod Network and to like it on Facebook. Just search for the Complete Podcast Network. Send feedback and mailbag questions to CompleteLakersPodcast@gmail.com. We are out.
Apologies to Herbert. We ran out of time.